BB851, turn right, heading 180. 14 Papa, turn right 245, report localizer established.
17 hours on board an Air New Zealand flight. Do you fancy it? Let me know down below in the comments. But soon, Air New Zealand will launch a new direct service between Auckland and New York City. A staggering 17-hour service that'll genuinely be an ultra-long-haul flight. Beginning later this year, on September 17th, the airline will further boost its services to the United States and take another step forward in the general reopening of New Zealand, which of course has remained shut off from the rest of the world since the beginning of the pandemic. Operating as NZ2 and NZ1, these flights are becoming their flagship, with often flight numbers 1 and 2 reserved typically for the most talked about and prestigious flights. Operating 3 times weekly initially, you can expect to depart from Auckland at 7:40 PM local time before arriving in JFK 16 hours later. It's the return leg where you really get into that lengthy journey. A 17-hour, 35-minute flight is definitely not for the faint-hearted, and one that will require a severe amount of endurance to say the least. The CEO, Gregory, said, "We've worked incredibly hard to make this ultra-long-haul service a reality over the last few years. To ensure customers arrive in New York feeling refreshed, we've put much thought into the onboard experience, and teams are working around the clock to make sure this is a great flying experience." Air New Zealand, following this announcement, joined some other airlines around the world operating some of the world's longest flights, with first, Qantas's Perth to London non-stop, which I should mention has actually been suspended for quite a while. Now, this is due to border restrictions since the pandemic, leaving Perth and Western Australia shut off from the world. However, this service will be resuming very soon. Then, of course, we have the current world's longest flight, which is with Singapore Airlines, from Singapore Changi to New York. The flight is around 18 hours and close to 10,000 miles. As mentioned though at the beginning of this video, the announcement that Air New Zealand will now fly directly from Auckland through to New York simply bolsters their presence within the United States, as they already fly to destinations like that of Houston, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Chicago, Honolulu, among even destinations in Canada like that of Vancouver. Long-haul flights are quickly turning into ultra-long-haul flights within the aviation industry, as more and more airlines explore the possibilities of having longer flights with their aircraft, utilizing the 787-9s, the A350ULRs, and of course upcoming aircraft on top of that. Notably, we have Qantas's Project Sunrise, which is moving ahead after a bit of a lull during the pandemic. That's the ambition to fly from Sydney through to New York, and even Sydney to London without a single stop. These are flights that would immediately overtake Singapore Airlines and become the world's longest flight. We're now seeing Air New Zealand join that exclusive bracket for those ultra long-haul journeys. But now, it's over to you. Would you be jumping on board a flight like this, 17.5 hours, especially maybe in economy class? Do let me know down below in the comment section, and thank you very much for your continued support. I know not as many people have really been watching the channel of late, and it's definitely been a tough time, but I'm still going to keep putting out content even if fewer people are watching. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.